But at first, I just kept seeing, this pool of water, and then there was another place where I would see this little door, and I searched and searched and searched and couldn't find it and came back and had the vision again, and I went, because there's something about being in the physical reality of Egypt that makes you, everybody's saying, well, this is, just this or just that, and it kind of strips you away from the magical aspects, and it's interesting that sometimes you can feel the magical energy there, but sometimes it's just bones and stones and sand. And anyway, so after 10 years of looking for this one place, I found it. And because there had been so much, no, this isn't it, no. And then when I found it, it's like the whole thing started running like a movie. I'm perplexed with how that could be so real. And it's happened to me in other places, in other sacred sites, like on Crete at Knossos. And this is very real. Like I knew around the corner is this and up over there, and like the whole thing was filled in as though it was happening. Now, that happened to me at Machu Picchu on one side of the site, where I actually spent the night on the site, and I was able to, they did weaving here, and they did pottery there, and I was walking around, and I had a real sense of what the actual locations were for. Now, that's disconcerting. That's perplexing. That's difficult to handle. That's like manifesting something out of nothing and going, whoa, whoa, whoa. My brain did not want to understand that. It didn't know how to. And so I've had to deal with some pretty interesting experiences with this. And it's real. And I've had some help with it. And, I've come to understand it, but it's perplexing for sure. Now, Amarna is a place where Nefertiti and Akhenaten built a new city because there was so much corruption within the Amlin priesthood that they decided they were going to start over and move back.
In what period would we be?
That was the 18th dynasty after Hatshepsut, so 1350 BC, somewhere in there.
Okay.
And there was big problems, and the Amlin priesthood was filled with power, and they remind me of the Catholic Church, how they would make people pay for their salvation, and it was religious instead of spiritual. And so when I went there, came around the corner, and I saw the light shining off the side of the mountain, and I just absolutely fell apart right there. I just started sobbing. And I was like, what's going on here? Well, it was there. I lived there. And I saw the sun shining off that very same mountain from another incarnation, and my whole being just totally was grabbed by it. And when my foot touched the actual soil of the place, I felt myself morphing into the other body. And then I walked around, and I just had feelings, everything about what happened where, and, that it was running like a movie. But I also happened to have brought some people there that also were clairvoyant and clairsentient and had lived there as well. And we knew this. We went there together on purpose because we had developed a long conversation about our past life memories there, and they had each identified who they had been.
Would you go back there again?
I'm going back there in October. I'm taking a group there. 10-10-10 will be in the Great Pyramid by ourselves.
And how does all this, Carmen, tie into 2012?
Aha. Well, it's curious that the first dynasty started in 3113 BC, isn't it?
Yes.
That and to me, that's the start of the patriarchal ways of being and thinking. And 2012 is the end. So it's the end of the cycle of bloodbath darkness, blood from death instead of blood from life. So it's my conviction that everything before it was matriarchal and balanced. And so 2012, it's not the end of the world. I think it's the beginning of a return to where we were, where we had some sense of sanity and goodness and connection and love. People all around the world are good. And so it ties into 2012 because we're hitting the absolute center point at December 21st, sunset Giza. Like, I've looked at this. I've looked at 11/11 in the morning. I've looked at 2011, October 28th, when Joseph Kellerman and those said, but it's the last step of the before the last rung of the Mayan calendar. And all of these dates, they don't line up. They don't. And so 2008, it was on the edge, like if you were to hold a knife against a glass of water, it's on the edge. And then across, and then straight center, 2012. So each year, we've been dipping into the energetic field, coming into the exact conjunction of it. But in astrology, if something is conjunct by 6 degrees, it's considered conjunct. If it's 7, it's out. If it's on, it's closer. But still, a conjunct is within a range. And so what's actually been happening is we've been passing through this energy for the last couple of years. And we're halfway through where it's touching this way. And so it ties in because I believe, this is what I've come to see with the whole picture being told, and this is what's in Out of the Blue in the screenplay, is that whoever they are, the reptilians, whatever, war gods and men, if you want to go to Sitchin, they won something and they wanted to control the Earth. And the Galactic Federation of Planets came in and said, you can't do that. It's a free will zone. You can't. They said, we want the Earth. You don't give it to us, we'll blow it up. So the decision was made that they could have it for one cycle. Not the cycle of the precession of equinoxes, but one Mayan cycle. And it's over. They're done. And so what we really can expect is a resurgence of sanity. That's what I'm putting my bid on.
Fascinating.
And that's how it ties in, because the Egyptians had it together. They were peaceful, they were intelligent, they were creative, they were connected to nature, they were healthy, they had 360 senses, not 5. We've lost a lot. And we've been told that being a multidimensional being is not possible. It is. We're psychic. We're connected.
Let's take some phone calls with you, Carmen, when we come right back on Coast to Coast AM. And our guest, Carmen Boulter, as we talk about Egypt. Your questions next. So stand by on Coast to Coast AM. Okay, welcome back to Coast. George Norrie with you, Carmen Boulter, and your phone calls as well. What's the fascination for you, Carmen, with Egypt? How did it all start for you?
I started having past life memories when I was a little girl, and it's the ancient sites that speak to me and recreating a picture of who the ancients would have been, because I'm disappointed with how we've turned out in our culture. I think there's a lot more to us and a lot more abilities that we could have to really connect with a true spirituality and a higher level of intelligence.
All right, to the phones we go. We'll start by going to San Diego. Madeline, west of the Rockies. Hi, Madeline.
Oh, hi. And Carmen, just quickly, I went to the Peabody Museum at Yale University when I was fourth grade, and they had a dinosaur. I got the bug, and my Aunt Eleanor sent me a beautiful book called The Wonderful World of Archeology, and it changed my life. That was it. I'm going to make a small joke. When my mother wanted to have that mother-daughter talk, I said, Mom, I'm going to Egypt. Don't worry. Don't worry about anything. Nobody's going to stop me. And I've been there twice, and there's every time you go back, it's something new. But anyway, I don't really understand what ley lines are. And I've seen a program somewhere where they can cross. And I wondered if where the ley lines cross, is that a place of anti-gravity? And then I have another small question.
Thanks, Madeline. That's a really, really good question. Oh, I'm getting some feedback here.
No, that's okay.
Oh, no.
Go ahead.
Don't go away.
Okay. Ley lines are telluric currents. They are energy lines that run inside the Earth. And now they're actually coming up about 2 or 3 feet. And so areas like John Burke actually talked about this, and he's passed in the last little while. Area